What's up, guys? We are here with... Jesus, now I'm so focused on your last name. I'm totally spaced on your first name. We are here with... Help me.
My name is Renato.
And then...
Do you want the last name? Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so focused on his last name.
So my full name is Renato Rodrigo Nisisaka Vergara. I come from Australia, Sydney to be specific. Yeah.
That's such a long name. Do you get tired of saying
that? Yeah. It's like a thing now. Whenever I start a new job or anything, it's like, oh, how do you say your name? It always comes up. And it's just like, oh, God, not this again.
Yeah, so I originally had asked Rudy to say his name just because I wanted to watch him butcher it on the video and have all of you enjoy it. But he was too focused on the last name. He forgot homie's first name. They've been hanging out for like days now. Shameful. But it's okay. We talked about this earlier. Trickers are notoriously bad about forgetting names.
Oh, it's so
like
hard,
I forgot several people's names that I was trying to remember last episode. So
I feel terrible about it now because like hindsight's 2020, and now it just puts me out as like a really shitty person. But I used to introduce myself to people. I was like, "Hi, my name is Rudy Meadows. I'm probably gonna forget your name."
Oh, what?
and it's like, zero disrespect meant to you. I'm just that fucking bad at remembering people's names.
I respect the honesty.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna ask you 15 times.
Yeah. I respect the honesty though, because I do that so much. But it's already like there's already a person at this gathering that like I don't know their name, and now it's way too late and too awkward for me to even ask. So I just gave up. It's just like, okay.
Hey man, dude.
Yeah.
Yo. It happens.
Yeah.
It definitely happens. All right, so Renato, when rapid fire, first couple questions. When did you start tricking?
I started tricking in the Australian summer of 2014.
The Australian summer, which means that was the American summer of 2017, because none of their timelines match up ever. Have you ever watched a sampler from them and then tried to put it to your own timeline? Because it makes no sense.
Oh, it's just because we have the opposite. So it would have been like your summer.
But like
And your winter, sorry.
See, look, he's trying to mess me up. No, all right, but Dylan's about to interject. No, hold on. Think about all the times that you've like, no, I understand when this happens, and then you compare it to your own timeline. And you're like, no, that doesn't make sense. It was like July, which is their winter, and our summer, but it was 2014, but they weren't tricking until my 2016. I've always been super fucking confused by timelines.
Don't listen to what he has to say right now. He does not know what he's talking about, and I don't either. I think Renato is also lost. So back to the questions.
Right. So you started in 2014, right?
Yeah, like the end, like this. Let's call it like September to December-ish, 2014, maybe a bit earlier.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
And then who did you, or what got you into tricking? Let's start there.
So like when I was younger, I was really interested in free running and parkour and all that. And so I watched a bunch of videos and tried to teach myself, and then I got knee problems from jumping on too much concrete. And then I stopped for ages, but I was always interested in like climbing. I was watching like Staro videos and all that stuff, like Farang. And then I started taking photos and doing urban exploration. And just naturally, I was like, urban exploration, I should learn how to do a flip. And just by chance...
For the photos and videos and stuff?
Yeah, it was just part of the whole adventure of, like, doing adventures, like, learning to flip. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And so, a trampoline park opened up not too far away from me. And I had heard of tricking, but didn't really know much about it at that point. But I applied, I got the job, and then I walked in, and... by chance, I went to a few open gyms when I was younger.
Right.
And Morgan Fluke from Team E, he ran those sessions. And just like multiple years later, like 7 years later or whatever, I walk in, he's there on my first day, and he just like looks at me, he's like, Renato? And I was like, Morgan? Like we both remembered each other. Like I remembered him through Facebook, but I was genuinely surprised that he remembered me, and he was like, yeah, and then learned some flips at Flip Out, got invited to the Trigger House, and then just started going to sessions and became a trigger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so by that association, okay, well, I first have to ask a question. Is Team E still alive? Because tricking teams, like, they live and then they die, and then, like, it's not like the people stop tricking. It's just like the teams kind of just stop calling themselves that.
Yeah. Well, being from Sydney and being from like the Team E household and Team Raw household, I think the teams, like, their relevance in tricking I feel like they've had their period of relevance,
Right.
but their spirit is still alive and well. Like, the team might not all be together, not everyone's on the same page anymore, but the spirit of Team E and Team Raw is still alive and well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So follow-up question. Actually, I guess it's not really relevant. I was going to ask, do you consider yourself as part of Team E or part of, what is the other team?
Team Raw.
Oh, Raw.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you consider yourself part of Team E or Team Raw?
I consider them, like, the way I see Team E and Team Raw and Sydney tricking in general is like generations. So Jono and Morgan, to me, are like the godfathers of tricking in Sydney and Australia, just in general. They like brought it over. They showed everyone what it's supposed to be. They kept it true. Sure. Yeah. And then after them, there was like the people in Team Raw, which were like the people that really like pushed like to make Australia known, and they're still superstars in my eyes. And that was the second generation. And now we're all a big family. Like, we're all still the Northern Beaches trickers of Sydney, but we're trying to start our third generation with Team Bread, just because then we have a name for the three generations.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So how first off, how far away is Sydney from Brisbane?
We're about a 12 hours drive.
Okay, that completely eliminates my next question of how often do you guys train together?
Oh, well, like, Phil, like, some people from Brisbane, like, it's getting better.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like, Phil's always been, like, traveling around. He comes down often to visit, like, more often than I feel like a Brisbane person is obliged to. Like, he really puts the effort in to come see us. And so does Jono, because Jono lives in Brisbane now.
Right.
And he comes down whenever he gets a chance. He comes down and sees us for a couple of days. Huh. But and we also got like a couple of the Brisbane boys of the like same generation as us in Team Bread to come down, and they stayed with us for a week and we tricked together. So it's not too bad. We still visit each other.
Nice. Okay. That's how many times a year would you guess or say?
Sydney up to Brisbane, like none. We're so like lazy, like not lazy, but like I feel like a lot of us tricking isn't our first priority. Like a lot of us are still like in Team Bread specifically. A lot of us are still doing uni, figuring out traveling, like figuring out what life is about.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to live your own life.
Yeah. And plus, it's like it's almost so easy. Like the flights are so cheap that we're just like, oh, we can do it whenever, but we just never do it.
Oh, it's that mentality of like, I'll do it when I get to it, and then you just keep saying that. And never do.
And then we get to like ATG, and we all see each other anyways. So it's always once a year, no matter what, we'll all go to ATG. That's the main thing.
I guess it's kind of like us and Loop Kicks or us and Bot. They're like, I think they're a little bit further than 12 hours. But how far is it? Oh, but that's like, so Dylan said it's like 30 hours, but that's like if we go down to no, it's just straight 30. I swear it's not taking that far.
Well, how much is a flight?
I mean, if you add a few stops for gas, and you know, if you're driving, but yeah, pretty much. If you fly, you can get there way faster. But you know, if you were to drive it and put on the road, we are the same distance from Virginia, and there's not as many roads going the direction that you need to go towards Colorado. So you got to take some weird detours. But yeah, it's a minute.
What am I thinking of? That's like 12 hours away.
I do not know. There's a lot of things that are 12 hours away.
Actually, that makes pretty much zero sense for San Jose or any of that area to be 12 hours away, because the Grand Canyon is 12 hours away, and that's
something that's 12 hours away. There you go. We'll give you that one. Okay. Anyways, back to the question.
Jesus, how did I fuck that up so bad?
It's okay. I will always be here when you do.
Thanks. But that's like fights aren't too terribly bad. They're like, Kerwood flew to San Jose for like $100 round trip one time, like less than like $50, something like that.
Yeah,
Like
that
round
sounds
trip,
about right.
which is a great price.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he managed it,
For sure.
but we neither side makes the venture very much.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's that mentality of like, we'll go, we'll come, but then we just
Yeah. All right, so first, like, rapid fire questions out of the way. I have a few much more in depth questions of like your tricking and how you like to train and stuff like that. So
yeah.
And this is kind of like the one that we've been asking everyone, because we've been getting a vast difference of answers.
Some really interesting ones. I've been really
myriad?
Excited.
Is that the word I'm looking
yes,
for?
it's a myriad.
Thank you.
It's also a terrible font.
Yeah. So if all trickers were the same skill or had the same skill level,
Okay.
like if whoever you imagine to be the best tricker, they were all that skill level, or if they were all at your skill level, or if they literally all could only do like a cartwheel full.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Okay.
If all triggers were the same skill level, what would set you apart?
Style.
Style?
Yeah, because like I feel like the skill level of tricks is based upon the difficulty of the trick, but like a million people, like we might not have a million trickers, but maybe a million people could do like a double full, but every single one is different. And like I was watching a video the other day, and it made me realize, and like watching trickers at this gathering specifically as well, like I was watching a lot of people and I was like, damn, that's what tricking's all about. Like everyone, like we're all doing similar stuff, like just generic stuff, like a cheat 9 hook, cart something. And I could do like cart D leg, and Jay Knight could do cart D leg or something, and our trick would look completely different.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about like style and personality, you know, whatever your story leading up to that trick you've done gets reflected on it. So
I like that idea a lot, of like the story of how you develop the trick influencing how it looks, because
Exactly.
that's like it gives each person more personality than you could ever like see at face value.
Yeah.
Because at face value, or even if like when you get to know the person by themselves, you have their own like, this is their personality, this is how they handle situations, this is how they act, whatever. But then you get to see other tricks, and if you think of it from that standpoint, their tricks tell a completely different story.
yeah.
And like I've always thought of I've always had kind of a running hypothesis theory that people trick opposite of their natural personality.
Yeah, there's definitely like a factor of alter ego in tricking that like is awesome. I think it's sick.
Because if you look at like one thing that like one person that really set me off was Ryan Rimper. Because every time I've met Ryan Rimper, and you may not know him, but he tricks like a fucking bat out of a dick. He's every time I've met him, he's been so calm and so mellow and so like almost shy and like super chill and whatever. But he tricks. He's one of the fastest trickers I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
And everything he does is like super like rapid fire, sharp, on point, and it's the craziest thing to watch because it's like a completely different person doing anything. And same goes with like me. I tend to be way more reserved and like antisocial. Introverted. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But I prefer the bigger, more outlandish power tricks than my personality would reflect, kind of thing. So I wonder if like all trickers kind of put that alter ego into their tricks because fuck it, why not, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's what the sport like demands. Like, you know, you just got to do it your way. And there's like, and every good tricking teacher that I've met is not hung up about you got to do it perfectly. It's like, as long as you're doing this, like tricking moves are malleable, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like martial arts or gymnastics. It's completely different for everyone.
For sure. There have been several times where I've taught people how to do tricks by teaching them how to crash the trick first.
Mm.
I'm like, for standing fulls, like, I'm going to teach you to do like an Arabian dive roll. So like you just jump land on your back, and then I teach them to like literally crash standing fulls. And they're like, why would I? Why? And the goal behind that is like, if you can crash the standing full without trying, on a mat, not on something hard like obviously, no, just go outside, try it, you'll be fine. But always like the tech of like the takeoff, the jump, the pull of the twist, whatever. If you can crash that without trying at all, when you actually try to jump and try and pull the twist, it'll be way easier than you think.
Yeah, it's like a confidence thing too. Like we all do like the set jump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The test run.
Yeah, exactly.
How is this gonna go? Am I gonna die?
Yeah, I always think of it as like, if I do a set, I'll be like, okay, 50% power, and then I'll maybe do like up it a bit each time, and then like I even say it to people sometimes. I'll be like, all right, maximum effort, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then you go all in.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I very much like the each trick tells a story because the style aspect of it. And then what is your favorite trick to do?
Oh, fuck.
Sometimes that's a really
one.
easy question for people. Sometimes it shuts them. You're like, oh wait,
yeah.
there's so many of them.
I don't know. It changes all the time.
I like that.
It's kind of like music taste for me. It's like every other week, I'll just be on a completely different thing.
It's actually really cool because Ahmed was saying that like post injury stuff like that, don't come back trying to do exactly what you're doing before, because if you were injured for a long period of time, you're not gonna be able to. You have to like rebuild up to it.
Yeah.
So like do what the flavor of the week is.
Yeah.
And then you'll fall in love with that, and you might not ever go back to what you're doing because you fall in love with this new flavor. So I really dig that.
Yeah. I think right now, I'm just digging Sailor, like Sailor anything.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like Sailor variations.
Sailor Moons are... I like them... Like normal Sailor Moons, if you swing at them, are really neat, but I like the creativity aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
You can put so many things after it.
Sailor Whack. Sailor Snapper would be dope. Sailor in, back out. That's the dream. No lie. That's the dream. It's gonna happen. Give me 3 years.
Apply some chill. Jeez. What?
I was chucking them onto that resi at the gym the other day. There was like a floor onto resi, and I was trying to do Sailor to my back, and it felt alright. Give me like a year or 2 or 3, and I'll chuck one.
I thought it was crazy when Kojo was talking about double flips off one leg being a trend that he wants to see in tricking, and that, okay, sure, let's just add that to the list.
Yeah.
I feel like Sailors are one of those tricks that you just ask to be as low to the ground as you possibly can, and then you want to flip it again.
Can you imagine that though? Oh, the hype would be so real.
What is Omid's trick?
Oh, the on-bomb. The
on-bomb, yeah.
Reverse out, in, front, out. Or I think he wants to roll it out, but I feel like he should just front it out. Like, if you're going to roll out, you may as well go an extra quarter. Yeah.
Oh, my God. No. Okay. Okay, so, quick question before we get to, like, the next big one. Is this your first time in the States?
Well, like, I came when I was, like, 12. With my mom on like a bus tour, so I don't really count it because we didn't really leave the bus unless it was like a big tourist attraction or if it was the hotel.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is my first time actually experiencing the culture of America.
Of just like being shoved into the wilderness, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like my first time here without family. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of piggybacking that idea. How has the tour been? Where did you start?
I started from the very beginning, so I came here on the 6th of June, and I went to Battle of Fury.
You've been here an entire month.
Yeah, a month.
Nice.
God damn.
I said that because I wasn't sure if you were aware.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like flying past. It's more the idea that I have a whole nother month to go that I'm excited about. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you started with Battle of Fury, right?
Yeah.
And then how was that?
That was pretty cool. That was dope to be a part of. I liked it. I just liked it was a big shock that I came, and I just like, Justin came up to me, he's like, oh, you're gonna battle? And like, when I came here, I came with the intention of battling at every gathering, but when I got to the point, I was like, oh, I don't know. But then he came, it's just like, oh, it's just for fun. And I was like, okay, if it's just for fun. And then I was surprised how far I got. But yeah, it gave me like a nice refresh, you know? But it almost felt like I forgot everything from back home, just the shock of being in like a new place. But
like battling or just being here?
Just being here in general. Yeah, it's just like, it's almost like everything before this was a dream, and then I woke up and I'm in another country, and now it's like another dream started, and I'm gonna wake up when I get back home and be like, whoa, what's happening? Yeah,
There's gonna be culture shock.
yeah, I don't know, it was just, I worked so hard to get here, and it was all days of like working and like just chilling at home and doing some training, and then I finally got here and I was like, I can't believe this actually happened. Yeah.
What's been your favorite stop so far?
Probably Colorado.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like every stop has been amazing, but like just here we've actually had time to like stop for a couple of days and like relax and like talk to people and like not always be like, okay, we're going here tomorrow, we're doing this now.
Right.
You know, this, that. It's been like nice and relaxed in Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you, so this one's kind of a fun question. Have you noticed that you've picked up or lost, I guess, your accent? Like the Australian accent being here rather than
Like I've kind of consciously tried my best not to. Just because like I know it's like a thing in Australia that we look at Scott Skelton and he's got that American touch to his voice now, and it's never quite left. And I feel like he should have an Australian accent because he grew up there, but it's like, like no disrespect to him, but I don't want to do that. I want to stay true to my Australian accent.
No, I totally know. There was a story I got told. I forget who told me. It might have been Phil. Where after Scott got back from like the first U.S. tour with NTBS and all them, he got home and went to pick Phil up. And Phil got in the car and he's like, "Oh, hey man, how are you? Like, what's going on?" And Phil just looks at him and was like, "Who are you and what have you done with Scott?" Because he apparently, and I'm guilty of it too. The longer I'm around Australians, the more I pick up the Australian accent.
Yeah.
So like, apparently the more I drink as well. But apparently Scott and I just switched places.
Yo, no way.
We just like, one of us phases slowly to be actually like or sounding more Australian, the other one phases to be more American.
Yeah. The more I think about it, though, it's like it's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, like it's just something that happens. Adaptation. You're around British people, you put on the British accent. Like
for
change.
sure. It's never necessarily a bad thing unless you like
consciously try to be that.
Yeah. Okay, so last, and now it's gone. Holy crap. I had it. I had one last question and now it's gone. What? Sure. Okay, so I had another question, but completely left me.
Oh, no.
So, if people wanted to get in touch with you, what would be the ways? Like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you have.
I'd prefer a handwritten letter.
Delivered by
pigeon.
Pigeon. Okay, handwritten letters.
Okay, we're gonna need your coordinates and or a way that we could train the pigeon to go to you, because we can make this happen. You just need to give us more instructions. We don't have the full piece of the puzzle
like
here.
An address we need. I'm not certain we're gonna get them from the U.S. to Australia without them dying somewhere over the ocean.
It's gonna be like a relay race. Like you guys send one, we'll send one in the middle. They meet up, they go back there, and wait. Oh, but then it's just one.
Then
it's just the same amount of time.
What if we do like one to Hawaii, one
stopovers?
Yeah,
that's
one,
crucial.
like one to Hawaii, then one to like.
Got to have pigeon layovers in 6 cities. Sorry for the delay in your message, but it got there the way you requested.
I'm gonna tie this back into the very beginning when I spoke like an idiot. Now we're gonna have actual timeline issues of dated July 6th, 2017. Received July 6th, 2028.
No. You guys...
Scraggly old pigeon in the last of its life.
If anyone were to reach me, I think probably the best way is like Facebook Messenger. It's kind of like taking over the world instead of text and email. So like Facebook Messenger or Instagram direct message, I guess, because they're the two I'm on the most. It's RYE, like rye bread, like rye natto team bread on Instagram. Yeah. And then just Renato Vergara on Facebook if you want to hit me up or come to Sydney or anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I got distracted. There's a small earthquake happening.
Yeah.
I live above the garage, and I think Kerwood's going somewhere, or someone just got home. Either way, it was an earthquake.
I thought we were
not
moving
a big
the whole
one,
house.
Small one.
I thought it was like the house just fucking grew tracks and was just going somewhere. Okay, so Instagram and Facebook Messenger works. And then, do you have any questions for us, for me, for Dylan, the disembodied voice?
Yeah. What do you see this podcast being in the next few years? What's your plans?
I personally see it as like an outlet for either us to share our thoughts and like ideas behind tricks, but also as like interviews with trickers to share their like, this is how I think about things, this is how I like got to where I am, and just kind of like a building of an understanding of different people within tricking. It gives you an insight into their own personal lives that you might not necessarily get without directly contacting them. And I know I'm guilty as hell about letting messages slip through, because I there's that new like messenger request thing, and
that gets me too.
I'll click it and have like 6 requests dating almost a year back. I'm like, fuck. I'm just getting this, like, do this, I'm sorry, I hope it's relevant, like, but like just information that you might not otherwise get to know about different triggers and different things. Dylan, what are your thoughts?
So for me, the reason that I wanted to start Torque Talks is I'd actually done a few podcasts with my friends over at the Rising Tide, which you should also check out. And they were just so much fun. And we were just talking about these great ideas. And it just felt like the hangouts that, you would have late night, around a couple of beers and just good conversation with friends. And but it was also like a little bit more constructed and directed, and you got to find out some things or discuss some topics that maybe normally you wouldn't. And it's also, I started thinking of like, what is tricking, like what really benefited me from tricking. And for me, one of my favorite parts is the community and communicating with people at gatherings, and the late night talks where you get really deep and really into why people started tricking and what it means to them. And
it's those late night circles that everyone ends up like all joining, where you're just all talking about your own personal life.
And also sometimes I also remember like there were conversations that I used to have, or I used to be a part of the group that was listening to, but there would always be like 2 or 3 people talking about something, and then like 5 or 6 other people would just show up very quietly, and no one would say a word. They would just listen to the conversation as it happened. And I just thought to myself, like, especially after I had done a few podcasts, I was like, this would be perfect. This would be the perfect avenue to, sort of do that. And with how many people we have coming through Colorado just to visit, and with the tour, and, just that are just naturally here, I felt like we could benefit the community in a way of sort of exposing some of these talks to people who maybe don't get to go to gatherings because either they can't get time off or they can't afford it or whatever may be the cause. But so I guess I just want to expose as many people as I can to sort of the other side of tricking that isn't necessarily the moves and the things that are happening, but the connections that are made with people. And I feel like if more people start to see that, we can really keep the tricking spirit alive, so to speak, as it goes into these new generations. Because and you're sort of part of that new generation, and it's fantastic to see how much that spirit is alive in you, and how much you are trying to continue that. So I guess that's just sort of what I want to do, is I just want to perpetuate that spirit through, showing people what other trickers are like. And, like some people we end up talking about, really, really deep in depth things. Other people we've just sort of grazed the surface and talked about tricks and the moves that they like and some of their training ethics and, things like that. But it's, there's just sort of a range of, the types of people that we have within tricking, and there's so much different insight that they can bring to you. And so that's the goal, is just to talk to as many people and put them out there so other people can enjoy them. And yeah,
it's definitely important. I think this is something that we need, just because like tricking, very much so for everyone that I've talked to and met, is like, it's not just a sport. Like it's a mentality, it's a way of living your whole entire life. And
for me, I've learned so much about myself and about how I handle situations and how I live from tricking that I never would have thought of. Or I might not ever have made the connection of that's how I do things, except for because of tricking. Because like I know my learning style is different. Like I know what learning style I have because the way I've studied tricks and the way I've learned tricks. But I know how I handle frustration from tricks. I know how I handle this, and it's such a crazy thing, because you would never think that would be such a relevant point, thing in your life from what used to be a passing hobby, like something I'm gonna just do this whenever I feel like it, and then it just engulfs you, and like
it's crazy. It's like what we were talking about the other day, Dylan, like about the whole like drug addiction to trick sort of thing, the chemicals it releases in your brain and all that. It's insane how real it feels. And like now that you've told me about that stuff, like how I understand like a bit more why I keep doing it, because it's something I ask myself constantly.
Why do I do this?
Especially because like on tour, the first like all the gatherings until now, I've felt so shit like body wise, and every session I'm just like, why the fuck am I still doing this? Why am I still here? And then it's just like I'm just chasing that next big trick I'm gonna land, or that next goal I'm gonna reach, and it's just such a part of me now that I don't think I can ever shake.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a perfect place to kind of wrap up.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Chasing that next big endorphin release, I guess. From landing the next big trick or the big combo, or like finally hitting what you wanted to hit. So yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you really liked it and want to see more. Make sure you guys check out more videos. I think they're down there. I did this earlier and I still haven't checked, but I think they're down there and to that side. Make sure you guys follow Renato on all of his social media.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely, man.
This is great. You guys should subscribe, because this is dope. This is important. This is important for the community.
Thank you so much. Make sure you guys check us out at TorqueTricking.com, and we'll see you guys next time.
E.
E. What is it? Fuck. E.
Yes, the fist E.